in terms of, I mean, what events don't you cover? Graduation, bar mitzvah, concerts.
I'm covering everything.
Yes, everything.
Call me, and I'm gonna cover it. I'm coming.
What got you to start your career in videography and photography?
Well, for those who don't know, I used to do music back in the day before I even was fully into the camera. But when I was doing music, I was the guy with the camera in my hands. Following the group around. Well, I was a rapper too, but you know, I was one who was doing all our media, you know, releasing, starting our YouTube pages, and you know, letting people see that who we were, like through the visuals and stuff. So then after that, I kind of like slowed down because we started getting like real videographers out here.
Okay.
As far as Kev Money and Cinematic Kev, and at that time, I was more focused on me doing music more than me shooting videos. So I stopped shooting. I wasn't even 2020 at that point in time. I was paper. I was paper at that point in time. I was paper. So like it wasn't really my dream to do that. I didn't want to be behind the camera. I wanted to be in front of the camera. So so that's really how I began. But then, you know, Kev Money kind of like slowed down on the videos, and you know, we weren't really having too many people writing the videos no more.
So it kind of opened up a creative space for you to do something that you were capable of, but didn't know maybe how passionate you would become about it.
Yeah, exactly.
What was there some specific moment, opportunity that kind of was the catalyst for you to realize, man, maybe this is something that I should do for a living? I mean, maybe not.
Money.
No,
money. Because I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. I rapped for like 9 or 10 years.
Okay.
I seen a couple dollars, and I say a couple dollars because I come from the era of the mixtapes where we could burn hard copies of our mixtapes and actually get outside and go on the block to $75, $10 a pop. Like selling more than that, depending on who you was and who you was something to. So I made that money, but then I started shooting videos. I'm like, hold on, I'm making hundreds of dollars in a day. Sometimes thousands, could be 1,000 plus over a weekend.
Right.
In a matter of like 2 days, like whoa. So I like, I ain't never made this at rapper. Rappers be like, hey, Paper, you want? Hey, Paper ain't even here.
Right, you're like, no thanks, I got another title right now.
Yeah, Paper checked out a long time ago. We got 2020 here now, so that's what really made me stick it. But I love it, though. I love the craft. I love the culture. I love all of it, because like I said, I started with rap. And you know, I always been a dope dude. I always been a music head. So I still feel like I'm part of the game.
Right.
Like I said, I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I mean, I didn't want to be behind the camera. I'm in front of it now. I mean, in front of it. Well, now I'm actually behind the camera and not in front of it. And I enjoy it because, like I said, now I get paid. And people they love me like I was in front of it. Like I feel like I get more access now
than you actually got when I was in the spotlight. So
I actually get more, you know, than I was getting in that point in time, and that's beyond the money. Like,
right.
So.
What is right now? I mean, you have such an extensive catalog of experiences. Tell me some event or experience that really just stands out in your mind as an indicator that this is what you were really meant to be a part of.
Something that was dope. Oh, there's so many of them, but I ain't gonna know what's. Man, I don't even know where the guy is at right now, but man, wherever G Quick is, man, because I was gonna miss you twice. It's G Quick, and it's 2 times. My first time really seeing a famous person, I would say, was Anne Marie. Okay. And like I tell people, I'm not there to really shoot Anne Marie. I'm there for G Quick. Bro hired me to come shoot, his performance to follow him, do his performances for him that night. Okay. So. He like, yeah, Anne Marie is headlining, woo, woo, woo. And I'm sitting back on my camera. I ain't even got my camera on or nothing. I'm just sitting there chilling. And he like, and I sit there and I'm like looking at all the people in the crowd, like, who they waiting? Like, they waiting on this girl to come up. Right. So I lean over and ask you quick. I'm like, bro, is Shorty really like that? And he looked back at me like, yeah, bro, she like that. I'm like, yeah. So I walk up to the front. I ain't even supposed to be laid up here, but that camera give you like
a little more access.
Yeah, access to places that you really supposed to be at. So they see me with this, nice camera, walk up and I'm like, can I go up there and record? They open up the gates, like, yeah, come through, come record. And I'm right there in front. So we get to the part of the story what really intrigued me with the whole thing. Like, this is my first time seeing fame. Right. And I record and I hear these people behind me singing. But when I turn around and look, that's the first time I seen, I call it the cell phone effect. Okay. It's where you see all the cell phones on with their lights and you see just hundreds of lights behind you. And I turn around and look, I'm like, wow. Right. it's 100 lights behind me turned on right now.
Easy.
Like all around looking behind, like wow. So that was a time where I was like, I can do this like forever. And then G Quick once again earlier this year, me and bro went to bro hired me again. And he took me to Texas,
South by Southwest.
To Austin, Texas. And
y'all left me here, but whatever.
I had really.
Y'all left me here. They definitely left me here, but no, it's all good. No.
But you know, as an artist, and I know artists, you know, that I did music with, that we all, even artists that ain't been there yet, that's just started. We all have heard of South by Southwest. Everybody has aspirations. You know, I think to get there at a point in their time in their career, whether they do music, whatever they do within the music business. Right. And I was able to go with G Quick to actually witness that. And when I seen it, I was like, wow. Like this is like for real. Like this is real deal. Like it was promoters. You had managers. You had A&Rs. You had artists. You had cameramen. You had security. I'm talking about anything you could possibly think to do with music. It was right there, and you know it's just like a hub for it. Just like it was just so dope, and like I'm going back. That's how dope it was. I'm going back. Like I know I'm going back. South by Southwest
experience, working with local artists. Look, you know. Not even just local. You was at Finesse shows.
Yeah, they playing shows.
Playing shows with quote unquote larger draws, larger names. What to you is the difference with the energy when you work with an up and coming entertainer versus someone who supposedly is more seasoned or has more experience?
What's the difference in them?
Yeah.
The difference in them is. The ones that's up there, they think they up there. Well, I ain't gonna say think they up there because they up there.
Whatever, right? I know what you mean.
But the ones that's up there, they kind of like, you know, I ain't gonna say, you know, but I'm gonna say they got their nose up kind of in the air.
Sure.
Like,
I'm a little more ego.
Yeah, I'm me. I'm who I am. The person on the come up, they more human with you, like, like you know, they just regular. They ain't regular, but they know.
Would you say that there's a different level of enthusiasm and appreciation of being filmed because it's still new to them? Versus the person who...
facts.
Right.
Like the person that's up there, they see a camera.
It's a camera.
It's a camera.
Okay.
The person on the up, they in the camera like, I'm such and such, whoop, 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 They trying to talk to the camera. They want to do all that. They want to wipe their nose. They want to They just want to be in the camera because, you know, this is new to them. The camera's all in their faces and stuff, and people are cheering for us. So, yeah, I kind of like the up and coming more than I like them.
The established caller. When I was talking to you a little bit off camera, you know, just our personal conversation, and I kind of teased you a little bit about it. But what is the 2020 effect on the ladies?
It's the camera. It's
not you.
It might be me too. It might be me too. I ain't gonna lie. It might be me too.
Okay.
It is me too.
You're like, I'm gonna take a small dose.
Just a small snippet of it because I ain't no ugly guy. I don't think I am. But I don't know. No, it's just a woman's world right now. If you listen to the radio to me, it's just a woman's world. Like the women is running the world right now. As far as music, I would say like. Cut that radio on, it's like girl song. Like a guy song, but that guy song might be featuring a girl. Or about a girl.
Right.
But it's just a woman's world. So when we in the clubs nowadays, you don't really see the guys throwing money. It ain't we balling no more. You know, it's these niggas that got money.
You can't say that.
I'm sorry. That's one strike.
You did good though.
That's one strike. But it's a lot of people who got money, you know, but they ain't doing that. Ain't the part of life I think we in no more where the guys is flashing. It's the girls that's
right. You know, the girls are they're exploring their femininity. They feel confident. Their beauty, the body confidence is different than it used to be. The curvy girl, the slim girl, the short girl. It don't matter. There's a diversity. Do you think too that some of it is just because everyone is so drawn to social media that they want to be seen? Okay.
Facts. What? I get to the crib and people get the message to me like, "Hey, make sure you put me in the video." I've been looking like if your daddy synced this. Like if I was your daddy, I'd be mad.
Right.
Or your mama. Either or.
Don't get me to talking trash about how many times I have direct requested that you take a picture video of me and you still.
I got you. Now we said we just had the community event.
Yes, we did at the Bounce the Ball. That's right.
Shout out to them boys.
Shout out to
I like them boys. Them boys is dope, man.
Yeah.
We just said that event, so I'm gonna get you in there. I noticed that you had me in your boosie. Right at the beginning, I'm like, okay. I see you. I see you, Powder. You got me in there. I see you. Like, all right.
I think something that I love too about the era that we're in, just in our specific region and in the state of Iowa, the Quad Cities as well, everyone is starting to realize the necessity to collaborate, be more diverse in who you include and why.
Right.
You know, I think there was at a point there might have been a little more competitiveness that was occurring.
Yes.
But now we're seeing, at least from my vantage point, that everybody has a contribution that they can make, and no matter how many video guys you have in the same space, no one's vision is the same.
Nobody's.
And so that's something that I love.
You give us all the same camera. It's not gonna be the same. I don't care. I'm talking about you can line us up, give us all that exact same camera.
Right.
You're gonna see it all different.
When you're in the mode and you don't have, like, you know, the micromanaging person who hired you to come there, like what kind of thoughts are going through your mind at any given time? And I don't, you know, I tease you about y'all gotta know this the homie, so he laughing and be like, what you actually asking?
At one point in time, because like for real, like what music videos and events. And where? Because I'd be in a whole other place. Sometimes I'd be like, what? Like, this is not happening.
Your ADD stands out, but in a good way. I guess I was saying from the point of, like, you know, when you show up to an event, like even today, for example, you know, you can't really predict how things are going to go. So when you come into a space, kind of like, what's your thought? What's your immediate thing that you kind of want to establish and figure out, just so you can be in your best frame of mind to get the work done?
Well, I probably, to get the best work done, to give me my best, I guess, stance, I have to ask. First of all, I need freedom in wherever I'm at.
Right.
Like, I go ask the club owner, the promoter, whoever. Like, if I'm there for self, I still go ask them, like, hey, can I move? I need to move, and then tell me that. But that's first off, like, I need to establish, like, freedom inside
of the space.
Yeah, inside my space. Where can I go and where I can't? So after I figure that part out, it's pretty much like green light. That's really where I want to go.
Right.
Where can I and where can I not go? As soon as you tell me this is your points and this is your points, I know how to deal with people and stuff, so I don't really gotta worry about that.
Exactly.
As soon as I find out, like I said, my boundaries. Okay. Green light, hold on.
You are more than a videographer, though. I know you have a very big love for fashion, the culture itself. You're a very dedicated father. Do you still dabble with music at all? Because I want to say you're a musician, but maybe you're just a little on a hiatus with that. No, not something you do.
Hey, shout out to that boy Paper though, man. Shout out to that boy Paper. But no, man, I ain't no music. I ain't no musician. I loved it though. I love it. I still got, you know, music. My son loves me, like loves Paper, like he loves me, but he loves Paper like the artist, like. And I don't try to coach on something or nothing, but he loves it, but I don't really indulge in it no more. That's an old era, man. New space now.
Are you just a forever creative?
For sure.
Would that be fair to say?
For sure.
Yeah, because I think
if I put the camera down, I'm most likely get to create some.
Doing something still in the creative, artistic space. I saw you.
I'm not putting the camera down.
I mean, I see you everywhere, but I saw you this summer too at the Pillars event with that Ill Island put on, and you were able to capture people who were getting recognized for those awards, and then you did a music video. How is it that you find yourself in such diverse settings in terms of all the things that you have inevitably been recording over the last year or so?
I don't know. Sometimes, if you ask that question, I would have to say, I don't know. Because sometimes I be places I'm like even I'm in the radio, like, people don't get to come here, like, they don't get to come here. So we be sitting here, and I be saying, like, wow, I'm really here, like, and it just be dope to me. I think it's dope, like,
We talked about that there sometimes is this perception that because we're local or that we're regional, that the energy and the power isn't the same. But from a person who isn't from here and they would hear us, that would be equivalent to us going to another city and listening and hearing and finding out about, you know, the talent in that area. So, you know, for the community, you know, if you could give them just a word of, I don't know if advice is the right thing, but just a sense of understanding. What do you want the community to understand about supporting local art and creativity?
Man, look, Cardi B, whoever you want to say, Glorilla, like.
And don't cuss.
Future, I'm not cussing no more.
Okay, you got that under control.
Yeah,
okay.
Whoever you want to say, like them big artists, they all started in their city, like.
Yeah.
And they gave them people support, like, and that's what we need around here. Like, it's a lot of, I noticed it. I'm gonna say it, like, it's a lot of crab and a girl kind of mentality around here a lot. especially once you get to a certain point and they see you reaching that point,
right?
They're like, oh, he getting there. Like, I don't know if they scared that you're gonna leave like the city behind or what, but.
So I have a real unique perspective on the crabs in the barrel. Like, I'm also a person who tries to always find the silver lining. So I don't
I want them to support the city though.
Right. I don't say things like, I don't say kill two birds with a stone, right? I say feed two birds with one worm, right? Because they can tug it and they can break it and they can both eat, right? That's how I feel about the crabs in that same barrel, right? I think some you could see the crabs in the barrel as a pull down, or you could see that there was this crab that was exceptionally ambitious and he climbed his way to the top, and a lot of the other crabs wanted to go along with him. So as they were reaching and grabbing for that crab, the intention wasn't to pull him back, it was to go with him. But everybody can't go with you.
Facts.
So when I say crabs in a barrel, that's more my mental alignment with that concept, that I'm getting to the top, I'm finally making it, and I just got to be mindful of the people who help me and let me climb up on their shoulders, like those crabs are allowing that one crab to do. But then I got to be careful about the ones that might be reaching up to pull me back or trying to go with me, and they're not meant to be a part of my journey.
Right.
And I think, that speaks to growth and maturity and getting to a certain place, because I've been at this for 20 plus years now, almost 30 piece, which is crazy to even say out loud, but it's been 30. I've been doing this since I was 14.
She said that, 30 now. I'm like, wow.
Well, because I literally started doing guerrilla marketing and street team work at 15.
Guerrilla marketing.
What is guerrilla marketing? Guerrilla marketing is a term that was coined by, I believe, A-Ball and MJG, where they said that basically when the guerrilla attacks, anything in its path is going to get attacked, right? So when you go out back in the day, we've got flyers and posters and promotional material, what we call merch now, anything you can give to make an impact on people, anybody that you run into, is all fair game. If I run into 10 white people in the district, I'm going to talk to them the same that I'm going to talk to 10 black people in the hood about this upcoming event. Back then, we didn't have the luxury of the opportunity to get on social media. We didn't have 7 platforms, TikToks, none of that. It was just you and your gusto and what you was about. So we had to literally hit the streets and be aggressive and market everything as if it was our last time we was gonna eat. Because I don't know if it's a gift or a curse, but you definitely gotta have it, and you also gotta stand on business in the sense that if you don't believe in your product, why should anybody else? The best slanger out there, he ain't supposed to test it, but he know he got the best, right? So if you believe that you are that, you have to showcase that in every aspect of your attempts to market and promote yourself. So a guerrilla marketing concept, it still exists, but people just call it something else. But yeah, it's just that aggression, that tenacity to actually think that you're good enough at this, that you deserve people's support. And I think, being in radio, man, I'm like you still. I still kind of pinch myself like, wow, I'm a radio personality. Like, I'm from the Dick Clark and Casey Kasem era, and then when I think about women in journalism, I think about Barbara Walters, you know what I'm saying, and kind of Chun. Like, I see those people, and I was inspired to do something that was considered an annoyance when I was growing up. My chattiness and my talkativeness was considered something that was a bad thing. So to get into my adult and to get into my own and be able to use my gift of talking for goodness, it's a healing thing for me too. So when I talk to people like you who use their art to elevate other people's life and other people's artistic ability, that is a gift. That is an important contribution. So you deserve to be interviewed on the radio because what you're doing is a positive contribution. I'm not going to talk about all the butt action in your videos, but
they be wanting to do that.
No, I know they do. I can't resist. We always talk about that on camera. But
hey, shout out to all the night girls, all the night girls, man, all the twerkers, man. Like, hey, look, shout out to y'all. Y'all make the videos pop, man.
They do, and I think we talked about too. Like, as we grow in our artistry and in our craft, it is important to take bits and pieces of advice and learn from all types of people.
Exactly.
So just like you may tell me something about how I can improve my show or myself on camera or even just be more confident about what I'm doing. That's the goal, I think, when you're trying to be engaging with people, but you're showing that you're supporting them. You give them advice with a grain of salt. You're not trying to tell them how to level up. You're telling them how to be the best at what they're already great at. And that is important. We got to be more supportive And I think support comes in the form sometimes too of transparency and just talking about things that are challenging. But you know what? We're going to take a brief pause because I think I could go all day talking to the one and only Paper, aka 2020 Visions. I can't understand why rappers and creative people have 5 names.
Hey, I couldn't have came back out. Hey, with the camera, I gotta rebrand now.
I tried to be Tiana for like 2 minutes. It definitely didn't work.
Yeah,
so
gotta rebrand.
Yeah, I gotta be Powder because that's what the people demand. But you know what? Powder loves coffee, and I go to the local coffee house. So we're gonna play an underwriting piece to let you know about how you can go and have a great experience at a local coffee shop too. And then we're gonna come back and talk more with 2020 Visions. You are tuned in to 88.5. Tuesday, June 24th. I don't know the temperature, but I'm going to find out for you, and I'll have that and more information when we come back. This is KLA 85. I'm Powder. Turn it on, man, and turn it up.
LA is supported in part by a grant from the coffee.
What is like an event that you did that maybe would have been like something you least expected to get invited to film or record?
That was least. What would I have to say that was? Torian.
Okay.
Torian Ball. Bro called me one day. It was like, well, there's a couple things that Torian's events that was like that.
Okay. Oh yeah, because he did like a youth summit type.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Well, he had me there with them kids, like with the kids, and you know, I don't know if people know my background. Like, I come from, from out, streets. I say I come from the streets.
Right.
But I never expected me to be. I was just telling the straight truth. The building that we was in, and Torian was in there, doing this thing, talking to the kids. And the last time I was standing in that building, I was in that building doing community service.
Okay. But
so I'm in that building like, okay, I'm in here.
I think that's what they call like a 180 moment, meaning you went at this point of the circle, you was there for less than desirable reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the time this came back around into your life and circumference, you were there for a completely different
I'm talking about
purpose-driven moment.
I'm talking about totally 360. I'm talking about not 180. I'm talking about all the way around.
Okay.
I'm like, whoa, like I'm in here. Like I said, I was sitting there as I was recording. Like I was in here doing community service last time. Now the kids in here swarming us and stuff.
Now you're gonna tease me because you know the reason why you can't say 360. This is the nerd in me, okay? Don't judge me. If you say 360, you get back to the point at which you started. If you do 180, you're at a new point on the same circle.
I did get back to the point where I started.
Okay.
Just a different time, like
just a different space and trajectory and reason.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I love creative thinkers. We just see things so vast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, we do though, and I think that's beautiful. Like just that I don't know how did a person describe this to me the other day? I was talking to Jonas, and he was like, we all have different parts of our personality, but we also all have different personalities. And I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, are we crazy? He was like, no, just when you're a musician, you are a different part of yourself.
Right.
When you're a parent, you're a different part of yourself.
Did you had that conversation?
We did.
I tell you, when I'm 20, and when I ain't got that camera in my hand, I'm still 20. Like, if you know me like 20, I guess you can't person that. But now I'm Tommy. Like,
right. And I'm Tiana.
Yeah, I'm my kid's daddy. That's all I know.
Yeah, exactly. But that's, I think that's important too, like a part of being grounded in yourself, knowing that your gifts can also be this existential part of your personality that you don't always have access to because it's not relevant to what you're doing.
Right.
It's like, like my kids could care less about me being on the radio if dinner is late. That's
exactly.
They're like, Mom, are we gonna eat in this 24-hour period or what? Exactly. They could care less if I was here. Like I had the pleasure of having Miss Isla on last week. I was a little starstruck, you know what I'm saying? Even though she's 22 years old and it's just a beauty pageant to some people. No, it's so much bigger than that. If you understand just in terms of leveling up your own life and being diverse, who would have told me, if somebody would have told me even a year ago that I would be sitting back in this booth, I would have said you a lie, because I have written this part of my life and my career completely. So then to not only level up, but to have sat down with the likes of yourself and Miss Isla and the mayor of Rock Island and Whitball and Ill Island, like seeing these men who I knew doing music 2 decades ago have a full-scale reemergence in a positive way and make an impact. Like, I don't think people get that.
This out there for the people who listen. Them Ill Island boys, they got real substance in their music.
Yes.
They have real substance. Let me say it one more time for the people who ain't listening. Y'all need to go look them up. They have real substance in their music, and it's giving me goosebumps. That would teach, you know, our
the
black
younger
men.
men.
Yeah.
And younger meaning like
Y'all should go
anybody.
check them boys out. Like, y'all might be like, oh, they ain't coming how I want to come. They not rapping like Young Boy and all them. And, no, they not doing that.
But you know,
But if you listen, like, they give you like probably like a dad's point of view or some things. Like, that's how they come. I feel like they don't get the recognition that they need, and I think that they need that. So our youth can catch that. And some of them, they probably ain't gonna be able to save all of them, but you can save a couple of them. You know?
well, that's why it's important to support events like Bounce the Ball,
Yes.
to be a part of the UUC. And if you
Yes.
don't want to be a part of it, advocate for them.
Yes.
Reach
Yes,
out to
exactly.
Tracy over at the TMDC and see what programming exists and how you can support that. You know, listen to DJ Cream in the morning and you know, his loudness and his raspiness, but he's promoting regional talent every show right along with the people who are quote unquote already made it someplace. You know, show love to the legends like the DJ Candyman because he's a legacy builder. This is a person who brought Boosie and Webby when they was nobody.
Exactly.
So for Wit, yeah, it's a blessing that he did it again in this era, but without those legacy builders, without those foundation layers, there's a lot of people who wouldn't have the opportunities that they have now. I think, you know, one thing that's unique about the Quad Cities too, though, is that we've always been a melting pot. There's so many different cultures and races and ethnicities, and you know the programming here at KALA is an extension of that truth. This is a jazz radio station, blues, we got hip hop, we got the Spanish programming all day on the weekend, we got gospel. So I think when you talk about the Quad Cities and representation, KALA has always had that. So for me to come back home to KALA and to be to sit in this space and promote positivity, there's nothing like that experience. That's why I show up every week unpaid. And I don't say that to make it seem like I'm not doing okay. I'm eating off my craft, but it ain't what people think. When you have a passion pursuit, you don't do it for the money. Because if that's what you're doing it for, you can hang that up. You need to keep your day job, as they would say, right? For you, when the money doesn't come quick enough, not to suggest it doesn't, but I'm sure you've had a moment here or there, or when the opportunities don't come as quick, what's your motivation? How do you keep that driving force, and what's your passion?
What's my motivation?
Because according to Jay Blanton, motivation is only one part of it. Discipline is the other part, right?
Discipline is, man,
It's
everything.
Yeah.
Discipline is more than a motivation, if you ask me. I'll tell you, I'll take discipline over motivation any day. You got the discipline, you got to stay in order.
You can lose the motivation.
Exactly. I'm about to say, you can start off with motivation without that discipline. You might lose that down the road, but that discipline will be right there in order. So, what gives me that, when it ain't no money involved, is I would say the people, how the people treat me. Like, like
the opportunity.
Yeah. People, like, the people love me, and they love seeing themselves, and I love giving them that feeling of, like, they be so happy, like, that they is in videos, and, like, they be just so happy. That makes me happy to make people happy.
I mean, I called you at least 7 times so I could be sure you could come, but it's not to pester you. It is that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It is that, man, baby, we about to put this out. We about to, you know, film this and get this out for people to see, you know, what's really going on in our area and how much work, you know, people are putting in, and, you know, that collaborative spirit, you know, it's important to me, but I think it's going to do something for the culture too. I think it's just a different time for people of color.
Yeah.
I feel it in the air, as Beanie Siegel would say, and I think it's just a change that has been long coming, and we knew it was going to come. And we were waiting for it, and we're grateful, and I think that is one of the best things that I see coming out of it, the gratitude.
That's what I like the most. Like, it's the gratitude, like the gratitude. How people react to my work, like.
Right. When I seen you at the Boosie show, you know, we had our kind of, you know, our candid moment, and we were talking. But you know what I think was cool for me too was to walk in that space and see all of the young people that are working so hard at their craft, all in one space at one time.
I ain't racist by any means, but I love those black folks. Like,
absolutely, that's not racist. pieces. I think we gotta let
We
go
all
of this.
in, you feel me?
Yeah, we are all one. I think you gotta let go of this idea that being for self means against others.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's what that means at all.
Right.
That's just like the oxygen mask concept. If you're gonna go down and I'm gonna go down in this plane, we both need oxygen. I can't save you before I save myself.
Right.
I gotta put my mask on and secure my breathing so I can help this person next to me in the event that they're struggling and they can't do it.
Right.
So as much as I would love to put somebody else on, I gotta put myself on, right? And then open up the doors, kick the door open, whatever comes first, for everybody else. So yeah, I mean, I think it's natural. So tonight, we're gonna go and hang out at Harold's Chicken Sports Bar and be with some other friends and family. You know, what is that like? Just kind of being able to get into unique spaces because the camera.
That camera, like it's that camera, like that camera is like a key, like. I ain't telling everybody gonna pick up no camera because y'all ain't gonna be able to do it. I seen people like at the beginning of the year, I was calling them the tax money people. Like, you know, the tax money people. You know, yeah, they came with the cameras and they flooded. Like I seen a couple flood with the cameras. And I'm like, man, here we go. Right. They coming into the market. They finna water down the market real quick, which they did.
Absolutely.
They really did water down the market in that time frame. But yeah,
we brought it back. I think sometimes competition, even if it's not
but that wasn't
on
even
the level.
competition. It'd be like distractions.
That part, yeah.
That was more of a distraction, like that part right there. So, yeah.
I think sometimes too, community growth means something different and looks different to everybody else. And the reason that is my frame of thought is I had an amazing conversation with a young woman who owns and has owned a clothing store in our community for I don't know how long the Jackson family been in it, to be honest with you. At least Devin in it, like 10 plus. Yeah, it's forever, right?
They probably been in the game for a minute.
I know at least 10 years, right? Yeah. And so when I was visiting their new space today, got me some shorts, y'all. Quit playing.
That's another place. That camera got me off into there. Like,
yeah, going to Style District 2 is too.
We're gonna say they have no new spot.
I know, right? They're like powder butchering it.
Yeah,
but the Style District, they moved their store, they rebranded. It's a beautiful space. I'm so happy for them and for us. I
mean, the old store, it was good.
Absolutely, it served the community
for sure. But the new store. Is the word elegant a good word we want to use? Like, I would say pretty is all down the inside. It just looks nice. Like, okay.
And then on top of that, it's affordable. Like, black folks, we just want to look good. Like, it's a beautiful extension. I think we have been, in terms of socioeconomic class poverty, we've had our own slot of that, right? As a group of people, but we've always tried to look our best and be at our best and level up with the resources that we've had. So, being proud for and of other people is a necessity so they can keep going, so they can have, what they need. And so the reason I mentioned that, having that conversation was, like, me growing up, I was bullied relentlessly. And so...
What they got was...
Right.
Dark skins on light skins.
Yeah, and shoot, I wasn't
They was trying.
That's so crazy that you say that, because I didn't even
out.
get that far. It was just more like, you're short. Well, no kidding. Like, I'm a snapback person. Like, okay, and so
I asked a guy that I used to bump heads with. These men used to fight every day after elementary.
Really
bump heads. You feel me? No, but I asked him when they was grown. I was like, man. What was to you, man? And he said, man, you light skinned, you a pretty boy. I'm thinking in my head, like, bro, like, I don't even think like that. Like, I don't think I'm a pretty boy. Like,
but that's the same thing as being a pretty girl. People will see in a young woman that's attractive or has.
Oh no, that's why my baby Oshi.
Yeah.
What? I was a fight, because they're gonna be trying you, baby. You pretty, baby. They're gonna be trying you, baby. Like, for sure.
So that leads to my point, like. It creates division when we dislike or judge people based on superficial qualities. Right. You being light complected, or me, having a gap in my smile, or whatever. People find these weird nuances about each other. Keep it going now. Quit playing on the live. It's just one of those things where I think my art has allowed people to see me in my real life. to see me in my gift and in my element, so they can have a different perspective. Do you feel like getting behind the camera has given you a different sense of purpose and accomplishment that way too?
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I be so like you was at the, I don't even hurt the name, but what the community event we just at?
Oh, the bounce the ball.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we was just there, and I was just so happy that my kids was with me to see their daddy like
Yes.
with that camera doing something, you know, positive, like doing his job, doing a career, my dream, whatever you want to name it. That was so dope that my kids was right there, like, and they right there, like, that's my daddy. That's my daddy.
That's what me and Miss Jackson was talking about. I was like, you know, doing the Boosie video and having, you know, Snoop and them allow me and my camera guy, shout out to B Martell, the Digital Religion, having us in that space and allowing me to have all the access and film. No matter what anybody thinks, my 100% goal was to show that I'm at work.
Thanks.
No matter what I look like, no matter what I'm wearing, no matter if I'm sipping or not, I'm at work.
I'm at work right now.
And so
this is work.
When I'm away from my kids until 3 in the morning, it's not a turn-up session.
This is work.
Right.
It may, and I be telling people that all the time, it may look like from the outside looking in, like, man, they having fun, they kicking it. No, it ain't fun to kick. I mean, I guess some nights we do be fun kicking it, but
you've seen me at the shine box like this.
You feel me? Sometimes you're like, all right, not all the time, but because some people might be watching this, like, I beg to differ. I seen you in the shot.
Right.
Boy, you got no chill to you.
I can only speak for myself.
But yeah,
but you know what I mean.
Work. No, it definitely be work.
Yeah,
it's work.
because sometimes you just like you got to decompress within the space. Because you're so overstimulated from everything that's going on.
Exactly.
You know, like I'm the small fry, so I'm always getting shoved by security, moved over here, or put out the way. You know, and so it's, you know, it's exciting and exhilarating, and I always feel like I'm treated very well. But it's just the idea that, you know, you come to work and it's really work.
Yes, it is.
And then payment. We're gonna talk. Listen. Listen. I put a post on my Facebook.
Oh man.
And
check it out, man.
Well, the reason I took that particular thought process to Facebook was, you know, I even struggled for a time understanding how to properly compensate creatives. I don't understand what the work is involved when you're done pushing the camera, right?
This is where people, this one thing I'm going to say for the cameraman that I don't think that nobody even thinks about us. Is we got to go home
and continue
to work. Like we worked for hours. We gonna say the party went for 5-6 hours.
Right.
We there for 5-6 hours. We like we just said, we at work already filming. But when we leave from there, we ain't going home. I mean, we just going home to chill and stuff. Cause most likely we gonna take a break. You know, if it's nighttime, we go to sleep, whatever. Some of us go home and go straight to the computer and get right to work. But we gotta go do another 10. I would say 8 to 10 more hours. After that,
so let's just break that down. If somebody offers a cameraman to come to an event and they don't pay for the ticket, that ticket doesn't even cover the 2 hours of work that they did while they're there, because that's less than like a physical ticket. Right.
Man, get that out of my face. I don't know a mission ticket. That's off top. Like that's supposed to be off top.
Because I think sometimes people have this idea that every craft has an exchange rate. No, it doesn't.
No.
Because your camera costs thousands. Your computer, you got to keep it safe because the footage that's thousands. And you got to keep your phone in case something fails, and you got
to other extra stuff you got to buy, like
the tools, like, all of it.
Man, so much stuff, man.
So the point I was trying to make
travel,
was
gas money,
offering somebody like $200 sounds good to you, but when you factor the breakdown, that could almost be $10 an hour when you break it down to really how much.
Real life. That's real life. That's real life. And then I'm gonna blame this on our culture, the black community. Like, I don't even think y'all ain't even really looked up the prices of. I ain't saying you. I'm just saying y'all as a problem.
Oh no, you can.
I don't think like people really done looked up the pricing of videographers or photographers or whatever they looking for with that camera. If y'all really did, y'all be like, shit. Let me give you a tip. Let me give you a tip real quick, because if I go over there, I'm gonna have to go get a loan on my car or something, like.
Right.
Because that is not cheap work. Like I got a screenshot saved on my phone right now of you ever heard of the What's Going On Quad City page? It's a somebody in there, and they said their budget. I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about. They said their budget was $1,700 to $1,800. I've never made that on a job a day in my life. I've been shooting the camera for 3 years.
Right. Exactly. Well, you're going to though.
But if I said that to somebody though,
they would say no.
I done said that to people who was trying to get me to leave my home. I'm talking about hometown, like trying to get me to leave Downport,
right.
Go across the states. I say something, they like, huh? I'm like, man, what is you talking about, bro?
Right.
Look, people don't be understanding that. Like,
I think they do understand, but you know that'll
be our people.
It'd be another show.
Like I said,
it'd be our people.
It'd be I'm gonna say the white folks like they business be right on point. I never dealt with them, and they was always on point. They was on time, even though I'm a little late. I apologize to everybody that I be late. I be late too sometimes. You know, I guess it's just in me. But yeah,
I'm always late, but I show up great, so it is.
Yeah, I just wish like our culture was just look at cameraman sometimes, and if you gotta go research, what does this cost? Because sometimes, you know, I have to research like what's the plane ticket cost. You know, I don't know. Like
you just don't want to feel insulted when you come to work.
Yeah,
no one does, right?
Exactly.
So it's just about proper compensation and transparency, and then I think making sure that people keep their dignity intact because you don't lowball them and you don't misuse their studiousness and their desire to be ambitious as a form of a weakness. Because I know you are enjoying what you're doing, but that isn't compensation. You're not with your kids. You are not in the company.
Some people be looking at it like that, like, oh, I got you into this concert. This is such and such. Man, cut that out, man.
That is not compensation.
Man, cut that out, man.
Right.
And I'm like, dude ain't finna pay my bills at the end of the month. Dude ain't even finna pay me attention.
But you know what I presented to somebody when I kind of got questioned, because I said, well, who's paying me? And they actually questioned my contribution. Listen, it happens to me a lot. So what I've determined is, if people don't know your worth before you go, you shouldn't be there. I'm going to leave it at that. 6:50 on the dot. We got about 10 minutes before we wrap it up. It's Tuesday, June 24th.